How are you, folks? Welcome to the show. Thursday, final day of the week. Another week in the books. Thank you, patrons of Patreon, for tuning in tonight. I appreciate it. 833-599-NICK, 833-599-6425, coming to you live.
Okay. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
I want all of you to enjoy your cake.
Enjoy your goddamn cake, you silly bitches.
Enjoy.
Yes, I will.
You know you one crazy motherfucking wop, man.
Yeah, it's been said.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
And you shouldn't either, goddammit! Well, what's the big news today? The Kim Jong-un summit in Hanoi collapsed today. Of course it did. You're dealing with a fat fuck who shoots his relatives so he can have all the power, who starves his people, who had an American over there, a college-age student who stole a poster off the wall, sent him back brain dead, and then he died. And, but let's trust him. Guy's a piece of shit, and that's how I felt for a long time. Anyhow, the biggest surprise, not that the talks collapsed, the biggest surprise is both those guys skipped the fucking lunch they had planned for them.
You fat fuck, look at you.
Come on. What is Kim Jong-un? What is his diet? What is it? Pound cake and lasagna through an IV? Jesus Christ. Look at him. He loves American celebrities. That's why he likes Trump, Dennis Rodman, and obviously the Shemp-Howard haircut. He's a Stooges fan, and he stole one of Hillary's pantsuits. Look at his chubby fucking hands. I wouldn't trust a guy where you can't see his goddamn knuckles. His fingers look like crullers from Dunkin' Donuts. Fuck him and everything he believes in, but I appreciate Trump making the effort. But it collapsed to like a cheap camera over there. President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un abruptly cut short their two-day summit Thursday amid contradictory accounts over why they were unable to reach an agreement to dismantle Pyongyang's nuclear weapon. So it fell right in the toilet. The two leaders and their delegations departed the meeting site in Vietnam's capital without sitting for a planned lunch or participating in a scheduled signing ceremony. I'll repeat, they skipped lunch. I'll repeat that. That deserves repeating. They skipped lunch. Must have been really pissed at each other. They probably had eaten 3 minutes before. Oh my God, I just ate 4 minutes before. That burrito's coming up. But it's the biggest collapse in Vietnam since the Tet Offensive, or as my inshore friends would say, the Tit Offensive. Oh, they're so clever. Hey, fuck you, Jason, and your fucking Faulkner attitude. Gives me this fucking Westchester, I'm holier than thou, smarter than you look. What came next was different versions of the impasse. Two of them were in Trump's chest, one in Ting Chung-jun's chest. Trump said the main impediment to a deal was Kim's requirement that the U.S. lift all economic sanctions on North Korea in exchange for the closure of only one nuclear facility, which still would have left Pyongyang with a large arsenal of missiles and warheads. We had some options, but at this time we decided not to do any of the options, Trump said. He added, sometimes you have to walk, and this was just one of those times. The guy is the fucking art of the deal man, and he does know a little bit about that. But, he says sometimes you have to walk. You should have tried that when, Stormy Daniels was giving you a nice tug under the table, and fucking Karen McDougal and all the other whores. You got to walk sometimes. Hours later, North Korea's foreign minister, Ri Yong-ho, who I loved on Barney Miller, offered a different take. Kim's regime sought only partial sanctions relief as a framework to move ahead with the plans to dismantle the North Main enrichment capabilities of the fissile material. So full of shit. Sorry, but I know you left-wingers and some of you GOP jerk-offs and all of the media think Trump is such a liar. Sorry, I'm taking his word over the triple chin jerk-off who shoots his own relatives, starves his own people, and that's just the way it is. You can call me naive. Kim's regime said only partial sank. I don't believe it. The foreign minister in a rare news conference said the North sought an end to sanctions that hamper the civilian economy and the livelihood of all people in particular. If you believe that, your sister's ass is really tight. He gave no further details. I ain't buying it. I ain't buying it. You shouldn't buy it either.
Liar, whore, and you know it.
Anybody who works for Kim Jong-un is a liar because he's a liar. At a news conference before he left Vietnam to return to Washington, Trump said he and Kim did not commit to holding a third summit. Still, he said they parted ways on positive terms. They fed each other jelly donuts in a hammock, and that was that. He says this wasn't a walkway like you get up and walk out, Trump told reporters. No, this was very, very friendly. We shook stubby hands. My finger's orange, his a light brown. It looked like a bag of carrots meeting a bag of potatoes. There's a warmth that we have, and I hope that stays. Really, you got a warmth with a killer? Quit licking ass, okay? You're a businessman, but that's how Trump operates. He tells you how great you are, how much he loves you. There's a warm, fuzzy feeling, and that's what businessmen do. You ever buy a used car? I love that pair of pants you're wearing. It's a nice suit, and then you're paying $4,800 for a Camaro that was built 41 years ago, and you leave the lot bleeding from the ass. Am I right? I am right. Trump said Kim promised he would not conduct the missile launches or test nuclear weapons. And he said Kim was willing to close the ongoing nuclear research center, the site of the North Koreans' main nuclear reactor, and its only source of plutonium to make bombs. Yeah, they'll probably get the rest of the plutonium from Hillary. Remember she sold some to Russia, that thick-ankle dog-faced hua? But Trump said Kim did not offer to close other covert facilities to enrich uranium. He's full of shit. You know that.
Then let me look around so I can ease the UN's collective mind.
You breaking my balls here, huh? You breaking my balls. You want inspection? Well, inspect that, you butt-fucking piece of shit!
I think that's when the collapse happened. When Kim Jong-un, the 12 words of English he knows, he let loose on fucking Trump. And Ryong-ho, which is a delicious, it's like a ho-ho, it's delicious, later confirmed that the North will be willing to permanently dismantle all the nuclear material production facilities at the main Yongbyon nuclear site and would allow U.S. nuclear experts to observe. But he did not mention uranium enrichment facilities at other sites, and that's how you make fucking nuclear bombs. Do you understand that? I hope you do. You don't get them at Dairy Queen. But North Korea's Vice Foreign Minister Cho said the United States was missing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and said no future meetings between the two sides were planned. It is difficult to say whether there might be a better agreement than the one based on our proposal at a current stage. He didn't know he was dealing with a guy who wrote The Art of the Deal, okay? Foreign Minister Ri said that. Our principal stance will remain invariable and our proposal will never be changed, even though U.S. proposes negotiation again in the future. All right, so that ends that. At least he gave it a shot, okay? That's all. You know, we could step in there and take over the country tomorrow if we wanted to. Not that I'm a neocon and shit, but we really could. This guy keeps his people in the dark. You ever seen a shot of North Korea at night when they've taken camera shots from satellites? It's pitch black. The whole country is pitch black at night, except for Kim Jong-un's house, where he's enjoying fucking roast beef sandwiches and with a funnel and all the fucking whiskey. He loves whiskey that we make over here. Go ahead, buddy.
So there's a video game platform called Steam, and there is one account that can be geo-tracked to North Korea.
What's it called? Steam?
Yeah, so it's like a platform that sells games, and you play them. You play your games from it. And there's one account that can be tracked geographically to North Korea.
So what should we make of? That's him.
That's him.
He's playing it. He's up at night playing video games. Drinking American whiskey, eating fucking desserts from the Cheesecake Factory, watching his neck grow like Hillary's. And how do you can't trust him. Why, Nick? Because he's Asian? Yes. No, I'm busting balls. That's horrible. But he's a killer. Do you hear how he killed one of his underlings in the military? He put him against a wall or whatever. You know what he used? A mortar that you would shoot at like a tank. The guy vaporized. Let's shake hands with that prick. Oh, my God. So anyways, that collapsed, and I'm sure the media's having a field day. 833-599-6425 is the phone number. You have to lure him with exotic, celebrities from Hollywood. Have Alyssa Milano do a bathing suit scene and shit and have her go over there. I mean, Rodman got further with Kim Jong-un. Why? Because he could rebound and he had a pierced nose. Anyhow, so that is that. Anyhow, let's lighten up a little bit. Tennessee man accused of dipping testicles into customers' salsa before online delivery. I hope he chose the mild salsa because I dipped mine in the hot. Oh my God. It was on fire for a week and a half. Nick, why did you do that? I had a fight with my wife, and then she asked for, chips and salsa. So he's not the first one to do it. Let's take a look at this guy. He didn't even work for the company, by the way. I forget the name of the company. It's in here. It doesn't fucking matter. But the driver sounds like a chick. She's filming him. Here we go.
What you get when you give an 89-cent tip for an almost 30-minute drive.
Feels good in my balls.
This is what you get.
Yeah. Honey, I found a couple of pubes in the salsa. Oh, relax. You know the Mexicans don't wear their hats when they're making that shit. My goodness. Because they drove a half hour and only got an 89-cent tip. That's really not that outrageous. The guy behind me on the way to Boca Raton did that on a Delta flight. He was peeing into the flap in the back of my seat. Nobody said shit. This guy's from Tennessee. They have a lot of troubled people down. He was jailed on felony charges after appearing to dip his testicles into a container of salsa that a customer had fucking ordered online. He wasn't even the driver contractor for Dinner Delivered. That's a company. He faces between 3 and 15 years of prison for a Class C felony. You think he'll get it? If I'm the judge, I'm belly laughing. And if he dipped his balls because they only got an 89-cent tip. What if I gave you $1.25? What do? Rub it around the rim of your asshole? Go ahead.
Just one nut.
How do you know it was just one nut?
No, if you give him $1.25, he only
he only
one
dips
nut in.
one. He doesn't look like a psycho. Do we have a picture of him? Yeah, it doesn't matter. But
he's right there. I got him.
There he goes. Wonder how he voted. Oh, he had stars on his shirt. Look at that, psychotic. You think the pussy wagon pulls up in front of his house every day? This he's not even delivering. He's not even driving the delivery truck. He's riding shotgun, and he's like 45 years old. He's got a fat wife at home, probably. She's dipping her asshole right now in the sour cream. Something that runs in the family. And look at him. I want to see what he gets. Let's stay on this. We'll do a follow-up. He'll get time. Cohen will go to a plush prison in good behavior, be out in a year and a half. So, anyways, he's 31-year-old Howard Matthew Webb. Was arrested last week and charged with adulteration of food. Dinner Delivered said the food service fired the driver and forwarded information about her to authorities as well. So the chick got canned as well. Well, she's laughing at it and filming it. So, yeah. But if I had a choice, I'd rather a female dip her privates in my salsa. Because I don't like gay salsa. Webb remains behind bars pending a March 12th hearing where he'll be raped anally and enjoy it. His arrest warrant says they picked up the food delivery from a local Mexican restaurant. The company issued a refund for the tainted food. No pun intended, tainted. Issued a refund. What if they fought it? Oh, bullshit. Did you eat it? Did you like it? A little salty. What a sick son of a bitch. But, I don't know. Part of me likes the guy. Because it happened to somebody else.
All right, just get the hell out of here, huh? I got a goddamn campaign.
Adulteration of food. Hey, if you like to watch me dip my balls in salsa or whatever, I'll make a little video for you. It's something called cameo.com, and I can't do that. Did it once. Like I said, I still have the scars. Cameo.com. You want to get a personal video message from me or send it to a liberal that you want to set straight? I can tell your next door neighbor to kiss your taint. I can tell your ex-girlfriend she's a filthy whore with leathery nipples. Or if you'd like, I can sing happy birthday to your 3-year-old. Whatever you want. I'll make it as nice, as mean, whatever you want. Cameo.com. Go to nickdip.com, click on Cameo, fill out the information, write the message you want me to deliver, and within 48 hours, it will be delivered with my ass tongue to whomever you want for a measly $60. I don't even get all of that. I can either make or ruin somebody's day for you, and I'm telling you, I'm really good at it. Being funny and mean for 60 seconds, I came out of the womb making the doctor laugh. He slapped me, and I pissed right in his face, and they said, this guy has a career in show business.
Does he not? Does he?
Hey, call in, will ya? I don't feel like working. 833-599-6425 is the phone number. CNN back in the news. Allison Camerota, she used to work for Fox News Channel. And anytime anybody bolts for that and goes to CNN, you know, they're fucking retarded, okay? Including what's her name? Megyn Kelly. CNN's Allison Camerota urges Rashida Tlaib, you know, the anti-Semite, you know, the Muslim douchebag that just got voted into Congress from Minnesota. Minnesota, you guys really have to wake up and fucking, you know, smell the hummus. Al Franken, this anti-Semite, you're really dumb. And I love you. Minneapolis is one of my favorite cities. But you're progressive, you're retarded. You voted this whore in, okay? And, you know, she's the one when, there's a couple of them. We got Omar. I think Omar was the one who said that as soon as she got sworn in at the party, we have to impeach this motherfucker. This is another dirty whore from that region of the world. Anyways, Camerota urges Rashid Tlaib to walk back apology, declares Mark Meadows a racist.
Uh-oh, retard alert! Retard alert!
Meadows had brought Lynn Patton, a senior Trump campaign aide, she's black, by the way, and now an administration official, to submit a statement into the record at the House Oversight Committee defending Donald Trump from claims by his former rat-faced jerk-off, Michael Cohen, that Trump's a racist. Patton happens to be a black woman and has defended Trump before. Tlaib, who has faced accusations of anti-Semitism, you know why? She's an anti-Semite. After making insensitive remarks about Israel, shocked the hearing by calling Patton a prop and suggesting it had been racist for Mark Meadows to bring her to the hearing. She cited her own feelings as a woman of color. First of all, I hate the phrase woman of color, person of color. I'm white. I have a color too. Buy a box of fucking Crayola crayons. White is one of the colors. Person of color. And then when you call them colored people, they go shithouse. That's called linguistic bullying in my fact. She's an anti-Semite. She's a piece of garbage. But here is a clip. Here is Tlaib at the hearing yesterday trying to, dress down Mark Meadows. Clip 1, Ms. Tlaib.
Just to make a note, Mr. Chairman, just because someone has a person of color, a black person working for them, does not mean they aren't racist. And it is insensitive that some would even say it's the fact that someone would actually use a prop, a black woman, in this chamber, in this committee.
Wow, you use human shields where you're from.
Is alone racist in itself.
So that's the dumb bitch that Minneapolis voted in. And a little about Ms. Tlaib. I just want to fill you in on what she's about. She wrote an op-ed for Louis Farrakhan. We know he loves the Jews. Nation of Islam newsletter, The Final Call, I wish it was, belongs to a group whose founder shared a video stating that Jews are satanic, was photographed with a Palestinian activist who praised Hezbollah, said Israel has no right to exist, and has called on Israel's Zionist terrorists. She's called Israel Zionist terrorists and told Jews to return to Poland. She's an open anti-Semite, a walking yeast infection, said advocates for a bill that would give state and local governments more leeway to refuse to work with entities that have a BDS policy, that's boycott, divestment, and sanctions policy regarding Israel. You know what she said about them? The people who were for that bill, they forgot what country they represent. She's a fucking Israel Jew hater. And she's sitting there being all high and mighty, calling out Mark Meadows. And then Mark Meadows replied. Mark Meadows replied.
There's nothing more personal to me than my relationship. My nieces and nephews are people of color. Not many people know that. You know that, Mr. Chairman. And to indicate that I asked someone who is a personal friend of the Trump family, who has worked for him, who knows this particular individual, that she's coming in to be a prop, it's racist to suggest that I asked her to come in here for that reason. Mr. President, the president's own person, she's a family member. She loves this family. She came in because she felt like the president of the United States was getting falsely accused. And Mr. Chairman, you and I have a personal relationship that's not based on color.
It's based on love.
And
sex.
To even go down this direction is wrong, Mr. Chairman.
First of all, I want to thank the gentleman for what you have stated. If there's anyone who is sensitive with regard to race, it's me. Son of former sharecroppers that were basically slaves. So
Basically, they were or they weren't.
I listened very carefully to Ms. Tlaib, and I think, and I don't want to, I'm not going to put words in her mouth.
Put a gun in her mouth. Take
but
her
I
fucking
think
head off.
She said that she was not calling you a racist. And I thought that we could clarify that. Because, Mr. Meadows, you know, and of all the people on this committee,
Yes.
I've said it and got in trouble for it, that you're one of my best friends.
Pause.
I know that shocks a lot of people.
Pause. He got in trouble for saying that Mark Meadows, a Republican white guy, is one of his best friends. What does that tell you about the left? You fucking racist anti-Semites. You hypocrites. You will not let us get past this issue of race. It's all you have in your political bag of tricks. You won't let this country move forward. Back to the clip.
And likewise, Mr. Chairman.
But you are.
Oh, that's gross. A black guy and a white guy are friends. That's gross. Miss Patton, Lynn Patton, works for the Trump administration. She's a black woman. She loves the Trump administration. She loves, like a lot of black people do, that Trump is just, you know, balls to the wall and doesn't have time for political correctness, like he said. And, you know, go ahead. Here's Miss Patton defending herself on TV, saying that she wasn't a prop. And, well, here you go, from her own mouth, and not from Tlaib's. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
FoxNews.com has frozen.
It's frozen. It always freezes when you're working the board, I noticed. You better have that clip. 5, 4, 3. That's all right. Anyways, try to pull it up and let me know. Why does it freeze?
We always have problems with Fox News' website.
Well, then fucking tell me that. I mean, anyways, this morning, I think she was on Fox and Friends, defending herself and gave a list a mile long of the Trump, what Trump has done as far as black people go. She's really, as Joe Biden would say, smart, clean, articulate, but listed how, you know.
Got it.
All right, buddy, good. Thanks,
Look,
Ryan.
I am so fired up to be here right now. I want to thank you guys for having me. The first thing I want to say is that I was not there to represent an entire race of people. I was there to represent one man who, never mind having the lowest unemployment rate for blacks, minorities, Hispanics, women, but also gave $32 million more than the last administration to historically black colleges and universities, gave the largest federal disaster grant to Puerto Rico. You know, just passed the most comprehensive prison reform bill.
Why haven't we heard this?
3 decades, pardoning more people with disparate sentences than any other president in history. He's also just created an urban council that's going to funnel $100 billion of capital
funnel rib sauce into
urban
Detroit.
and rural communities through opportunity zones. You know,
Okay. There you go. From her mouth. She wasn't a prop. Okay? She's defending all the stuff that Trump did. And Tlaib, you're hateful. You're full of shit. Mr. Cummings basically said you're full of shit. Mark Meadows is not. And she was saying, I wasn't calling him a racist. I'm saying bringing a black prop. It's the old fucking thing. If somebody says, Nick, you're a... Well, I have black friends. Oh, the old, I got black friends, so I'm not a racist. Okay, so I don't have any black friends. Oh, then you're a racist. I'm so sick of this fucking bullying and this logic that's been winning. And logic that's stupid could only win if the mainstream media help spread it, which they have for the last 50 years, saying this is the most racist. Shut your fucking holes. There's black and brown people coming over here literally by the millions trying to sneak in or coming legally. So shut up with that. And you people that vote Democrat, like in Minneapolis, wake the fuck up. Stand up. God damn it. Jeez, how can you refute this woman, a black woman? I don't give a shit if Trump said stuff, and I believe he did, going through poor black neighborhoods. I don't give a shit. It's about results. We've all said horrible shit. I'm going to talk about John Wayne because they want to change the name of the John Wayne Airport to something else because of an interview he did in Playboy in 1971. The progressives, you call yourself progressive, you pride yourself on looking forward, but you're always looking backwards. You focus on shit people said 40, 50 years ago. Jim Crow laws, slavery, 200 years ago. And you call yourself progressives. And there's enough dumb people who buy your horse shit. Thank you, Miss Lynn Patton, for having the balls. That has to be the toughest thing. You know how much courage it takes to be a black person and to defend Republicans and conservatives in this country? It's becoming easier. And I'm going to make a prediction. Trump's going to get more black votes in 2020 when he wins again because he has to go up against geniuses like Bernie Sanders and Ocasio-Cortez who want to drive a train from California to fucking Hawaii at 400 miles an hour, and they can't keep him on the track at 50 miles an hour. But let's take a call. My buddy Hercules from Italy donated $250 the other day, and I can't thank you enough. Welcome to the show, Hercules. How are you?
Hey, what yo? How are you?
Pretty good.
It's fantastic to talk to you. I hope, and I pray that I'll be able to do that every month because I love your show.
Thank you, and I hope you do.
No, honest to God, I do.
What do you mean every month? Well, hold on. You want to talk to me every month or donate $250?
No, I want to talk to you every day, but I'm going to donate at least once a month.
Oh, God bless you.
No, I just want to say two things real quick.
Yep.
Or actually, I got one question for you because my mom's driving me crazy. What part of Italy is your background from?
Abruzzo. The Abruzzi region.
Come the voglio bene, what yo? Where? You know the town?
Oh, God.
More or less.
It's like
Give me the area.
It's literally a dirt road. I swear to God, my parents went there like 15 years ago. And
yeah, but is it Molise? No, hang on. Is it Molise or Abruzzo?
Abruzzo.
Oh, okay. So we're almost paisans. I'm from Molise. Actually, unfortunately, I'm from fucking Pelosi and fucking De Niro country. But I'm on the Adriatic coast, and I can't fucking believe. And I apologize for swearing on TV. I can't fucking believe that there's Italians that are fucking Democrats. Most of the farms, every single one of them. But anyway,
I know.
Two things I want to say real quick.
All right.
Number one, according to the Spike Lee little prick,
yep.
I want to be the fucking hammer to his Spike, number one.
Okay.
Number two, that he has his last name Lee, as in General Lee. Why doesn't he fucking change his name?
Oh, my God.
The fuck have we Italians done for them?
Oh, my
God.
God.
And then you got that other prick, Samuel, whatever all he can say is motherfucker this, motherfucker that.
Samuel Jackson.
Can you imagine? Okay.
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, jackass. Why doesn't he change his fucking last name? And then that other prick, Mr. fucking I'm Beautiful Washington, whatever the hell his first name is. Why doesn't he change his last name? But you know what? You don't have to. I don't have to. Jason doesn't have to. They have to. They have to live with the fucking stigma of what they were in the past. God bless them.
Yep.
I don't hold that against them. I love them. I have to go I have to work, spend my money to watch their garbage, and yet then I get told that I'm a fucking wop. Meanwhile, they order pizza, they vote for fucking Pelosi, and they almost blow De Niro.
Yeah, those are all great points. Great
And
points.
yet you got a beautiful country. Rather than waking up every morning and say, Porco Di, I have everything that I want in this country, anything and everything that I want. I hate you, you hate me, I hate him. What the fuck is it with this hate?
Well, you know what? It works for them politically. That's the only...
Because they're not eating Italian.
No, they're not.
No, Nick, they're not having Italian dinners. That's what the problem is. If they eat a little Italian, they'd be happier.
I don't know. A few of my black friends love Italian food, but yes, you're absolutely right. They're still eating ragu out of a jar.
You have a beautiful country. You have everything going for you. Look at those two young guys helping you. They got a really good future, and all I hear is Russia this, Russia that. They're even fucking up the English language.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
I'm with all my heart. I say this. I'm not saying this to be some yahoo. I really, 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 I'm pro-America, but in the proper sense. Not, well, we don't want a wall. We're going to knock down the wall. For what? Meanwhile, they got fucking every kind of alarm system on Fox comes on. This alarm, that alarm. If a moose comes to your door, you can fucking shoot it. What is this?
I think I fucking love this.
No,
you're right. These are all.
No, but seriously,
they're all valid points. But let me ask you, Hercules. What about about like you guys being overrun by North Africans? I know Sicily is.
Oh, wait a minute. God bless you. Now listen. Okay. I need you to do something for me. There's a black girl, American.
I'd love to do it.
Who went to Italy. Her name is Tia Taylor.
Yep.
And she's on YouTube. And you got to check this girl out. She got there within a week. She calls home and she says, "Ma, I ain't coming home." And if you see, this girl speaks Italian. She's in love with Italy, and incredible. She's opening up a business there, and there's so many of them. It's got nothing to do with their black. Versace gave Naomi Campbell her first break. God bless the guy. Only to be shot by some fuckhead. It took me 3 days to recover from that. And not that I'm gay. It's just...
Well, let's be honest. The guy had a point. The inseam was 2 inches too small, so I would have got pissed too. But so this black girl you're talking about, this black girl you're talking about is an American that went over there?
An American.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she said there is absolutely no racist against her. She starts going on about she can save more money in Italy. That she was going on about the university, the hospital, all this pro-Italian stuff.
Yeah.
But the people coming from Africa. We're not receiving doctors, engineers. We're receiving booga boogas. These guys 2 weeks before were being chased by fucking hyenas.
Yes, well,
they show up in Italy. They look at the fucking Colosseum. It doesn't register.
I know.
No, I'm serious. You walk in Rome, you walk into the Vatican, you shit yourself, you look up there and you say, Porco Di, where am I?
I know.
A booga booga, it doesn't register.
No, they look at the Coliseum and what they see is the Forum in Los Angeles where the Lakers play. But great call, Hercule. I want to hear from you.
Okay, I got to go.
All right, ciao, and thank you so much for being so generous.
Ciao, thank you. Huh?
All right. God bless him. He had a few zingers in there and stuff, and he was doing so well to the booga booga comment, but, $250 a month. That'll cover my Advil PM at least, which I took last night, and Jesus, am I foggy today. I don't know what's in it. It's the only thing that knocks me out. That the CBD stuff, what was it? InfiniteCBD.com. That stuff is great. I suggest you guys try. We have 2 clips of the black woman, right? We have a second one from Lynn Patton. Here's a second one.
Are you token?
What I'd like to ask the Congresswoman from Michigan is, why
Michigan,
does she take the word of a self-confessed perjurer and criminally convicted white man over a black female who's highly educated, rose up through the ranks of one of the most competitive companies in real estate. You spoke before 25 million people at the Republican National Convention, and now works in one of the most historic administrations in history. And so to me, that would be my question. That's more racist than being put up there as a quote-unquote prop. Trump has time and time again done so much for the black community, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
She apologized. Did you accept her apology? And have you talked to her, or she reached out to you?
Well, she didn't apologize to me. I think she apologized to Congressman Mark Meadows for implying that he was racist, which is also laughable. I was there again, not just to push back.
Amen. I guess she's from Michigan, that one, and not Minneapolis. And that's what she said. I don't know if she's mistaken. The other one is Omar is from Minneapolis, I think. But either way, do you see how we've digressed politically? This is what we spend our time on in hearings and shit. And like Miss Patton says, she's taken the word of Michael Cohen, a convicted liar, over her. But that's what the left does. They are fucking morally bankrupt, yet they're the ones always pointing fingers at us. Of course, and this, I started out with a Camerata of CNN, on Thursday morning, Miss Alison Camerata hosted Tlaib on New Day. Unlike Anderson Cooper, Camerata actually mentioned Patton playing a clip from the radio show Thursday morning in which Patton had objected to being called the prop. Camerata went on to argue to Tlaib that Meadows was indeed a racist, and he asked her if she regretted her apology. It's not... Oh, Jesus Christ.
You need to shut the fuck up.
Okay, she's trying to coax her into an apology. Oh, my fucking aching stem. She's trying to make her walk back her apology. First, she asserted Tlaib that there were... She asserted to Tlaib that there were people at home that felt that were tone deaf and insensitive of Congress Mark Meadows. You certainly were not alone in that feeling, and so why did you apologize to him? Camerata cited no evidence of how people at home felt. She's just assuming everybody thinks like her, and that's what the left does, the mainstream media. They assume that you're all as dumb as they are. You know why? She lives in a fucking liberal bubble. She works for CNN. She doesn't associate with people who think like I do, thank Christ. Seriously, she just assumed the whole country agreed with her. Shouldn't you walk back your apology? You weren't mean enough to him. Even though Elijah Cummings, a black guy who went through the civil rights movement and got beat over the head, is best friends with Mark Meadows. Fucking yeast infection on wheels. When Tlaib offered it an evasive answer, Camerata pressed her some more. So you do regret apologizing to Congressman Meadows. Oh, my fucking... Tlaib said that she apologized if I made him feel like a racist, saying that she saw the exchange as a teachable moment and did not want to label Meadows as a racist. She added that she was offended by Patton being brought to the hearing and saying nothing, evidently ignoring the fact that Patton had a statement entered into the record. It reminds me of the scene in The Godfather. It reminds me of the scene in The Godfather when Frankie Five Angels is being testifying before Congress, and all of a sudden Michael Corleone shows up about 10 minutes into the meeting, shows up late with a guy, and it's Frankie Five Angels' brother from Italy. In other words, just sending it, in other words, Michael's like, I'll have his brother fucking whacked if you say the wrong thing. It was that, oh boy. Congressman Meadows understood where I was coming from. He knew what my intention was at the end, and that's why he decided to take his objections back. And still, the yeast infection Camerata pressed Tlaib. But just to be clear, you still today feel that he is not a racist?
You stupid fucking blabbermouth cunt!
Tlaib responded, look, I'm going to fucking douse you in gas and light a match if you ask me one more time. No, Tlaib responded, look, I feel like the act was, and that's up. Tlaib responded, look, I feel like the act was. That's a misprint. And that's up to the American people to decide whether or not he is. Exactly. But see, Miss Camerata assumes the American people think like she does. Because she's not racist. She's never had a racist thought in her fucking life. She's never uttered a racist word. The people that call you and me bigots and racists and shit and point the finger, you know, because you want a wall or whatever, they really believe that they are better than you. They're the most sanctimonious assholes. The only people that point to me and say, you're racist is somebody who's never had a racist thought, and that person doesn't exist in the fucking world. I got news for you. Oh my God, Michigan. What were you thinking? Again, there's a lot of Muslims in Michigan. What a great Congress we got. We got Ocasio-Cortez, who's like a fucking 8th grader, can't do math, doesn't know business, leading the charge. Leathery nipple Pelosi, whose home city, literally, there's an app so you don't step in human feces and fucking needles everywhere. How much evidence do you need that they don't know what the fuck they're doing? They have a fucking skewed view of the world. Stop voting for them. My God. Ugh. You sure you don't want to walk that apology back? Don't you feel like a dumb bitch? I mean, he once said that Obama was from Kenya. I mean, isn't that enough to ruin his life and get him booted? How dare you, you titless wonder? How dare you, ma'am?
Tlaib also called her Israel comment a learning moment. When is she going to learn?
Tlaib called
her
own comment
another teachable moment.
Yeah. Did you learn anything? Why don't you get together with your pal Omar? I figure in another 20 years, Congress will look like, you won't be able to tell. It's going to look like it's going to look like when you go to JFK Airport and there's 1,000 Muslim cab drivers literally praying at 2 p.m. on prayer ride. That's a comfortable feeling as you get on a plane. You ever do that? LaGuardia? I'm not shitting you. I'm walking to Delta and I'm on the sidewalk and there's about 60 Muslim cab drivers right in the middle of the afternoon. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. This is a country where you come, where you can worship freely and shit. Just don't. But I'm saying, is that really when you're in a country that was bombed? Makes me a little nervous getting on a plane. And I'm hearing infidel cocksucker in C-13C. Nick, that's racist. Well, kiss my grits. On to more silly shit.
You know you one crazy motherfucking wop, man.
Mind your business, mama. A Virginia state employee has complained that her 8th grade daughter was upset during a tour of the historic governor's residence when the First Lady, Pam Northam, you remember Governor Northam with the black face and a clan over, handed a ball of cotton to her and another black child and asked them to imagine being enslaved and having to pick cotton. The governor and Mrs. Northam have asked the residents of the Commonwealth to forgive them for their racially insensitive past actions. But the actions of Mrs. Northam just last week do not lead me to believe that this governor's office has taken seriously the harm and hurt they have caused African Americans in Virginia, or that they are deserving of our forgiveness. Oh, God.
No, they're ignorant. That's ignorant.
His first attempt at a promised reconciliation tour, this is the governor, had a hiccup last week when the student government at Virginia University asked him not to attend a Black History celebration there.
No! No, 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 no!
You see, Northam, who, by the way, likes to kill babies that are at 8-9 months, he's a piece of shit. I'm not trying to defend him. But he's trying to make up for his racially insensitive past. But they don't want you to. They disinvite him when he goes to speak. See, they don't want you to. They don't want reconciliation. They want retribution. Because if they let you apologize and shit and go on your little tour and speak, they'll have to acknowledge that, you know what? He's one of the good whiteys. They don't want to do that. Because if they do that enough, they won't be able to point and cry racism, and they won't have anything to hang their hat on in 50 years or a political platform. They don't want reconciliation. It's fucking silly. But listen to this story. Pam Northam's the wife. She says, she handed cotton balls. They were doing a tour with students, and they were in some structure. She hands cotton balls to the nearest students that are next to her, saying, can you imagine it? And they happen to be black girls. And by the way, she handed them to white students, too. It comes out later. I regret that I have upset anyone, Pam Northam said Wednesday in a statement emailed by the governor's spokeswoman. Do you believe we're at this point? The talk took place February 21st when the Northams hosted a traditional gathering of about 100 young people who had served as pages during the Senate session. In front of a huge fireplace with iron cooking implements, Pam Northam held up samples of cotton and tobacco to a group of about 20 children and described the enslaved workers who picked it. Mrs. Northam then asked these 3 pages, the only African-American pages in the program, it's in parentheses, if they could imagine what it must have been like to pick cotton all day. Walker wrote, I cannot, this is a black woman, for the life of me understand why the First Lady would single out the African-American pages for this, or why she would ask them such an insensitive question. Well, let me explain it to you, you dumb broad. If she handed the cotton to just the white students, you'd be saying, why did you hand it to the white students? Their relatives didn't have to pick it. That's why. And by the way, she handed out to a lot of students, it turns out. Oh my God. We're at about a 6th grade emotional level as far as race goes in this country. The governor's office, which did not make Pam Northam available for an interview, said she simply handed the cotton to whoever was nearby and wanted everyone to note the sharpness of the cotton ball. How can a ball of cotton be sharp? What the fuck? To imagine how uncomfortable it would have been to handle all day. Sort of like fiberglass. I did my attic. In a letter written by Walker's daughter to Pam Northam, which was included as an attachment to the email to lawmakers, the young girl said she did not take the cotton, but her friend did. It made her very uncomfortable, the girl wrote. Really? So let me ask you girls, I don't know how old you are, I'm hoping you. Really? Cotton offends you that much? So you probably don't, what do you use for tampons? Bounty? Fucking old sponges from under the sink? A tampon must be a double whammy because it has a rope hanging off it, and we all know how they feel about that. Gee, really? You're that fucking upset by cotton? Mommy, I'm having my period. Could you hand me those rags in the garage? I am not going to use cotton. Then the broad says, I will give you the benefit of the doubt because you gave it to some other pages. Oh, okay, so the story's false. From the beginning. She didn't just hand it to black students. She gave it to some other pages. So why am I reading this far? Fucking lying. Lying motherless fucks. But you follow this up by asking, can you imagine being an enslaved person and having to pick this all day, which didn't help the damage you had done? What damage? What damage? Did you go to school the next day? Did you throw up blood when you went home? What damage did she do? Grow up. If she didn't hand it to you, you would have been saying, why'd you hand it to the white bitch? My great-great-grandmother picked the shit. Oh, my God. Fucking help me. Senator William Stanley, whose daughter served as a page this session, was among the group that the First Lady took to the kitchen. Stanley declined to make his daughter available for an interview, but he said she told him that Pam Northam offered the cotton to all of the students. Do they eat cotton candy? I think I've seen black people eating cotton candy at a Mets game. This is where we are. Delegate Marsha Price, Democrat, Newport News, as a member of the Black Caucus, praised the student for her courage in speaking out when a lot of times African Americans have not always had the opportunity to confront offenses in this way. Yeah, they never get a chance to grieve when they're offended racially. Great point. She said Pam Northam used poor judgment in her presentation to the children. The cotton itself is a symbol of murder, rape, displacement, and the radiating effects of the transatlantic slave trade. Really? That's what you think of every time you have to put one of those in? 1 week out of the month? Is that all come rushing back to you? Or do you really think, thank God, these white panties aren't going to look like the fucking sheets in The Godfather if they found the head. Radiating effects of the transatlantic slave trade that black Virginians are still experiencing today. I don't know that you have to have an actual cotton handed to the children to understand slavery was bad. I just got this to say to you, whoever the fuck you are. Oh, God, don't even tell me I didn't. Anyways.
You stupid fucking blabbermouth cunt!
That might be a little harsh, Nick. I don't give a shit. I have had it. I am fucking tired.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
Handing a ball of cotton and, oh my God, you traumatize these kids. It's a con game. It's a con game. It has been forever. That's why guys like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Spike Lee are still relevant. 833-599-6425. Miss Northam, you know what? Don't even acknowledge the, I don't know. Hey, folks, you can get these at nickdip.com, but this Saturday night, couple nights from now, I'll be at the Brook Art Center, Bound Brook, New Jersey. Can't wait. Friday, March 8th, Wood Theater, Glens Falls, New York. Friday, March 29th, Decatur Civic Center, Decatur, Illinois. The next night in St. Louis at Delmar Hall on March 30th. Friday, April 26th, Steel Stacks, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Friday and Saturday, May 3 and 4, Side Splitters, Tampa, Florida. Friday and Saturday, May 10 and 11, The Governors in Levittown. Friday, May 31, Jonathan's in Algonquin, Maine. Saturday, June 1, Whites of Westport, Mass. Saturday, August 10th, Newtown Theater, Newtown, Pennsylvania. And by the way, I'm filling these places. Friday and Saturday, August 16th and 17th, Helium in Philadelphia. Thanks to you people who tune into this show. Saturday, October 19th, Ridgefield Playhouse, Ridgefield, Connecticut. Friday, November 15th, Cortland Repertory Theater, Cortland, New York. And back at the Tarrytown Music Hall, Tarrytown, New York, on New Year's Eve, one of the most beautiful venues. And I apologize, I lit up a cigarette near the end of my act last New Year's Eve. I don't know. And then they go, do you understand that this place will go up like a... Oh, come on, Mickey Dolenz was here. You got to tell me he wasn't smoking crack before? Oh, a little lighthearted news. Listen to this. What a world. A Hannibal Lecter fan confessed to caving in a fellow student's head with a hammer before allegedly eating his liver. It sort of makes handing a cotton ball to a young black girl look silly, don't it? Maybe we use the cotton balls to mop up his blood. That would have been offensive. Lawyer Christian Stunkel, who represents the family of the victim, said the fictional serial killer was the accused's biggest idol, and he watched all the films and series again and again. I've seen Silence of the Lambs, I'd say 7 or 8 times. I have yet to take a hammer to my wife or anybody's head, although there are times. Wouldn't eat her liver for sure. Drinks like a fish. No. The suspect, who was only identified as 24-year-old Vietnamese student Nat T, appeared for the first time in the district court of Gera in the German state of Thuringia. In August 2018, the student who attended the university in the central German city of Jena gave himself up to cops and reportedly admitted to killing the Chinese classmate Cheng L earlier the same month. During the trial, the court hopes to find out what Nat T did with the body after he allegedly smashed the victim's head in with a hammer. I'm guessing he rolled it in breadcrumbs and a little garlic and lemon. La-da-da-da. Investigators found the body of the Chinese student, 27, hacked to pieces and stuffed into a plastic bag, and he was still studying. I mean, these Chinese. Some body parts were found by a special diving team in the River Saale, where the victim's head was found under a bridge. Prosecutor Martin Schneckner confirmed that the victim's liver was missing from its body, and an autopsy showed signs of it being removed by a sharp instrument, such as a knife. As the liver was never found, prosecutors believe the suspect might have eaten it, given his great fondness of his flesh-eating hero, Hannibal Lecter. The film Hannibal definitely played a big role in the defendant's life. The liver was selectively removed from the body, Schneckner said. Remember Hannibal Lecter, folks? Have you ever seen?
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Fellas, have you seen?
I fucking love that movie.
Is that not?
That's so good.
Ryan, you seen it yet? Can't stop watching it. And yet I haven't taken a hammer to anybody. I'm blaming, because you know why? Because he's Vietnamese. They're known to do that. Trump is lucky that he didn't get hit over the head with a... Although I find the liver and then fava beans, that's a little much. It's a little too much protein. You know? And a Chianti is a little dry for fucking liver. I once had a Cub Scouts testicles with a nice Chardonnay. Ryan looks over me with a serious look. How can I say something like that and you look at me dead in the eyes? Does anything register up there?
I don't understand why it has to be a Pinot Noir.
Okay. You're right. Kind of a dark thing. According to the prosecutors, Nat T. lured Cheney L. into his student flat by telling that a package had arrived for him, turning up the music volume and striking him with a hammer. He probably got that from American Psycho. Afterwards, he allegedly hacked the body into pieces in the bathtub. A mental assessment. They have to assess him? I'm no psychologist. This motherfucker fucked up. A mental assessment by a court psychologist has been ordered to find out more about the Vietnamese student and why he loves the Democrats in America so much. No, I just threw that in. But I say he's a little fucked up, no?
You're crazy! I'm not crazy, I just don't give a fuck!
He said in perfect English. According to the prosecution, Nat T. searched for terms such as Hannibal Lecter. Could he have more evidence? Secure killing methods and psychological illnesses around 30,000 times on the internet before the murder. Special Victims Unit, Hanoi. Before the murder inside student housing accommodation in Jena, the suspect allegedly watched The Silence of the Lambs several times and the sequel Hannibal. Sort of like me listening to Gonna Fly Now before I work out. I love they have to mentally assess this guy. Can you imagine if, seriously, think about that. Can you imagine if they did and they went, nah, he seems all right. Other than what he did, fucking killing a guy with a hammer and eating his liver, this guy is fine. I suggest maybe anger management and a year's worth of dance classes at Arthur Murray. That'll take care of it.
Do you think if he pleads insanity, he'll get off into a mental ward in Germany and not go to prison?
I don't know how it works over there. I sold my summer home in Berlin years ago. It's a good question. Over here, some fucking scumbag lawyer would take it, and some people, and there'll be an Asian woman on the jury going, I feel bad for him. That's how it works in America. If there's a black on trial and if there's a black juror, he's going to get off. That's just my take. But I love that they have to assess this guy. They basically know he ate a guy's liver after killing him with a hammer. I don't know. I mean, he seems a little edgy, but I wouldn't call him crazy. It's like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. By the way, we're watching that together, all three of us. It's an American. You never seen it, right? Chase, have you?
Well, I've been wanting to read the book, so I've been avoiding watching the movie, but I've been lazy and haven't read it yet. So.
This is one time where the movie is as good as the book, if not better, because it's Nicholson and...
Yeah, I do love Jack Nicholson.
And Larry Storch from F Troop, who was a terrific... We're going to watch it together. God, I'm jealous that you have... I'm jealous you get to see it for the first time. That's the first movie that when I left the theater, it fucked with my head for like 2 weeks. I was about 14. You know, I couldn't get out of my head at night and shit. And I didn't know a movie could do that to you. And, oh my God, it's up there with the top 3. Just so good. More politically correct fucking ridiculous behavior. What do you mean by that, Nick? Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you right now. Oh, did I throw my bullet points on? I got to pick these up. I mean, the guys gave them to me. I can't find them. Anyways. John Wayne Airport in California. You guys might be familiar with it if you've been out there. Anyways, in airport news, some are questioning whether Orange County's John Wayne Airport should get a new name. Why? Why do you think? This month, someone dug up an interview that Wayne did with Playboy magazine in 1971 because they have so much time on their hands and they have nothing else to do but ruin people's lives and cause dissension. And their main goal and mandate in life is to prove that America is the most racist place on earth. You fuckers, I hope your kids get eye cancer when they're 7. This month, someone dug up an interview with John Wayne about 1971. John Wayne, and his comments range from politically incorrect to grossly offensive by contemporary standards. Well, there's your problem right there. You're taking contemporary standards and you're trying to apply them to a different time. That's why we're still talking about slavery and shit. You lefties aren't fucking bright enough to know that the world changes, and you can't do that. You gonna blame me for wearing bell bottoms and platform shoes in the 70s? You should. That led the LA Times, left-wing piece of shit, I wouldn't let my dog shit on, to run an editorial urging the Orange County officials rename their airport, claiming that the 71 interview shows Wayne to be an outspoken racist and homophobe. Here's one of the samples of the Duke's thoughts on Native Americans. I don't feel we did wrong in taking this great country away from them. There were great numbers of people who needed new land, and the Indians were selfish trying to keep it for themselves. And that's mild compared to his comments on African Americans and gays. The LA Times editorial includes a link to the original interview that I went to. And let's listen to some of the shit. The 71 interview has underscored the sheer crudeness of the actor's feelings about gay people, black people, Native Americans. If you can't find this, just link to what Cohen said, Trump said. It's all the same shit. Or Nixon, or LBJ, who used the N-word every other word, was into weird sex shit. Every president. Jimmy Carter said he wanted to fuck a Playboy model. Young people and liberals. I love John Wayne, and they, for this reason, they should name every airport in Los Angeles. Here's some of the comments, okay? Again, this is back in 71. Orange County used to be a Republican stronghold. But anyways, it's not anymore. That should be evident from the results of November's election, in which voters turfed out the county's last remaining GOP members of Congress, some of whom embraced Donald Trump in a fruitless effort to save their careers, and elected an all-Democrat congressional delegation. And your first move is to do important shit like this. Change John Wayne Airport. Yeah, let's name it the Ruth Buzzy Airport. She never fucking... So let's take a look at some of John Wayne's opinions, circa 71. Magazine writer Richard Warren Lewis conducted the interview at Wayne's home in Newport Beach. John Wayne said, movies were once made for the whole family. Now with the kind of junk the studios are cranking out, I'm sure that within 2 or 3 years, Americans will be completely fed up with these perverted films. He was wrong on this one, though. Playboy said, what kind of films do you consider perverted? Wayne said, Easy Rider, Midnight Cowboy. Those are 2 great films. Midnight Cowboy is one of my favorite. It might be my favorite movie. John Voight, a young Dustin Hoffman. John Voight is from the South. He goes to New York City to become a gigolo, dressed like a cowboy. Dustin Hoffman is a homeless guy. He becomes like his agent, Dustin Hoffman. They live in a burnt-out building. And there's one quick scene. They actually rated this movie X back in the day. They had to change it. But there's a quick scene when he's a kid. He's having a flashback, John Voight. He's in bed with, like, his grandparents. And it's kind of assumed that he might have got molested or something. It was creepy, His mother or grandmother's like, come over here, sweetie. It's kind of, that's it. And they label it X. But one of my favorite. So, Mr. Wayne, sorry to you. I'm going to part ways with you on that one. He says, this is what John Wayne said, wouldn't you say the wonderful love of those 2 men in Midnight Cowboy, a story about 2 fags, qualifies? Oh, my God. I mean, what's the matter with that? Come on.
Fucking quiz!
Oh. Easy, John. Then he says, with a lot of blacks is quite a bit of resentment along with their dissent, and possibly rightfully so, but we can't all of a sudden get down on our knees and turn everything over to leadership of the blacks. I believe in white supremacy until the blacks are educated to a point of responsibility. I don't believe in giving authority and positions of leadership and judgment to irresponsible people. Now, white supremacy, I guarantee it doesn't have the negative connotation that it does today. Again, this is 1971. And nobody would fucking say that today. Except maybe the president. But this is what happens when you... Go ahead. You want to say something?
He said the buzzwords, though.
Yes,
that means he's a racist.
Well, but my point being, those are buzzwords today. Back then, I mean, I'm sure it stepped on liberals' toes and raised eyebrows and shit, but it's not the shock. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to defend it, by the way. I'm just saying. Playboy said, are you equipped to judge which blacks are irresponsible and which of their leaders and experience? He said, it's not my judgment. The academic community has developed certain tests that determine whether blacks are sufficiently equipped scholastically, but some blacks have tried to force the issue and enter college when they haven't passed the test and don't have the requisite background. But if they aren't academically ready for that step, I don't think they should be allowed in. Now, he's sort of... affirmative action doesn't work anyway. Even black people have agreed that affirmative action allowed a bunch of black students who weren't qualified to go to schools, and it had a negative effect. They were in over their heads. It didn't help them. It hurt their self-esteem. It blew up in their face. That's why they're trying to get rid of it. But again, he's speaking more bluntly because it's 1971. I think, he says, I think Hollywood studios are carrying their tokenism a little too far. You can't argue with that statement. That's true today as it is then. There's no doubt that 10% of the population is black or colored or whatever they want to call themselves. They certainly aren't Caucasian. Anyways, I suppose there should be the same percentage of the colored race in films as in society. I sort of agree. I think black people are overrepresented on commercials. I think gay people are overrepresented on TV. And you can argue with me and shit, but, gay people make up about 6% of the population. And I'd say, watch the commercials and shit. And every other commercial opens on a black family or a black person. They're overrepresented. That's not being a racist. I'm saying you can prove this with numbers and shit. But it can't always be that. There isn't necessarily going to be 10% of the grips or sound men who are black because more than likely 10% haven't trained themselves for that type of work. Again, and people like Obama want to do bean counting. If the population is 13% black in America, there should be 13% of the teachers, whatever the percentage of black cops are in Detroit. There should be that many. Whatever the percentage of black people living in Detroit, that should be the percentage of cops that are black. That's not the way the fucking world works. It just doesn't work that way. And they're still arguing that it does. So yes, this is some harsh shit. But again, it was said in 71. Then they get on to the subject of Indians. And by the way, if we're going to do this, I pulled up Martin Luther King. If you guys are going to hold right-wingers and white men to this litmus test, this morality, this standard that you don't hold to anybody else to, you can go into Malcolm X's past, shit he has said, MLK Jr. I have a whole article here, how many orgies he was involved in, how many affairs he fucking had. But you don't apply it to everybody equally. Even John Wayne fucking knew that back then. So, it's Churchill fucking hated Indians. He said they were savage people. He's talking about Americans. For years, American Indians have played an important, if subordinate role. This is Playboy. I'm doing Playboy like John Wayne. In your Westerns. Do you feel any empathy with them? Wayne said, I don't feel we did. I already read this at the beginning. I don't feel we did wrong in taking this great country away from them, if that's what you're asking. Or our so-called stealing of this country for them was just a matter of survival. There were great numbers of people who needed new land. And the Indians were selfishly trying to keep it for themselves. That's the way the world works, by the way, not just this country. I know the libs want you to believe this is the only country. That's how it works. Read about your revolutions and shit. But, so, this is so outrageous, and we have to change the airport. That's fine. I don't want to see MLK Jr. Boulevard anywhere, since he was an adulterer and liked orgies and used prostitutes and fucking, if you're going to apply it across the board fairly to everybody. Anyways, I think you get the idea. And then they said, do you think, when talking about the Indians and people who are different, do you think they've had the same advantages and opportunities that you've had? And Wayne said, I'm not going to give you one of those I was a poor boy and I pulled myself up by my bootstrap story, but I've gone without a meal or two in my life, and I still don't expect the government to turn over any of its territory to me. Hard times aren't something I can blame my fellow citizens for. Years ago, I didn't have all the opportunities either. But you can't whine and bellyache because somebody else got a good break and you didn't, like these Indians are. We all, he says, we'll all be on a reservation soon if the socialists keep subsidizing groups like them with our tax money. It's actually a good line. Yes, it is. Anyways. It goes on and fucking on and on, and then the jerk-offs ask, that leaves us with the question of why John Wayne's name should be associated with any civic institution in Orange County, its airport or otherwise. He doesn't appear to have been a major contributor to civic life in his hometown or county. In 2016, when a GOP state assemblyman from Orange County tried to get the state to declare John Wayne Day, he was rebuffed when legislators mentioned Wayne's support for the House Un-American Activities Committee and the John Birch Society. So, again, let's dig into the past. Let's go back 40 years and hold what somebody said in an interview against them and shit. I'm sure he did some. Let me ask you a question. How many people did John Wayne's movies employ? And how about all the people that played Indians? They sure look pretty real, a lot of them. You think any Native American actors got work because of John? If you want to play this silly game. But you can do it with, Malcolm X, MLK. It's such fucking horseshit, man. So I dug up some of MLK Jr. Remember the documents of a JFK file? A secret FBI dossier on civil rights leader Martin Luther King alleges he had a string of affairs and other sexual aberrations.
You fucking hypocrite.
Now you're saying, well, it's a secret dossier by the FBI. That's what they were saying back then. Well, the FBI, assembled it, so how can we believe? Well, you believe the one they assembled on Trump, that dossier. So are you being selective? The FBI was on the up and up when they fucking made that shit up about Trump watching hookers peeing each other. But MLK back then, the FBI, they were just, he was a colored guy that was making them nervous and shit. One allegation that King had a mistress in California with whom he fathered a child was attributed to a very responsible Los Angeles individual in a position to know. Among its other accusations are that Dr. King was surrounded by advisors with strong links to the Communist Party. So was Barack Obama and everybody on the left. His statements were always subject to approval by the alleged communist sympathizers. He was a secret supporter of communism, a wholehearted Marxist. His organization, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, set up a tax dodge to raise funds for its activities. Dr. King took part in drunken sex orgies and coerced young women to participate. Again, if you applied that to all the presidents, any politicians, that's the real double standard. You know how many congressmen have paid off their fucking mistresses in D.C. and whatnot, and all the hush money and shit, and they're the ones screaming that you can't name the airport. He had love affairs with at least 4 women, including folk singer Joan Baez, and it warned that despite Dr. King's history of calling for peaceful protests, the combined forces of the communist influence and the black nationalists advocating violence give the Washington Spring Project a potential for an extremely explosive situation. So you get the idea. The most salacious claims about Dr. King's sex life are contained in a dense collection of rumors in the final 2 pages. And listen to this. At a February 1968 workshop to train ministers in urban leadership, it is alleged one Negro minister in attendance later expressed his disgust with behind-the-scene drinking, fornication, and homosexuality that went on at the conference. Several Negro and white prostitutes were brought in from the Miami area. An all-night sex orgy was held with these prostitutes and some of the delegates.
Christy, get down on your knees so Sabrina can see your asshole.
The document alleged that Dr. King also engaged in a 2-way drunken sex orgy, a 2-day drunken sex orgy in Washington in January of 1964. When one of the females shied away from engaging in unnatural act, I'm guessing anal, King and other of the males present discussed how she was to be taught and initiated in this respect. It is a fact that King not only regularly indulges in adulterous acts, but enjoys the abnormal by engaging in group sexual orgies. Again, all politicians have done shit like this. My point being, when they're black like MLK, you're not tearing down their statues or saying we have to take his name off that. If you're going to play the morals game, if this is all about morality, you have to hold all politicians, regardless of their colors, or all famous people in the past. If you're going to dig up the past, white guys can do that too. That's all I'm saying. Quit the double standard horseshit. That's what happens when you get into this game of, I'm more moral than you are, blah, blah, blah. Malcolm X, I'm sure he didn't say anything racist about white people. Did he? How about the Prophet Muhammad? You know, he had slaves. He owned slaves. Not to mention, he had a history of liking little boys. Read about all that. So where does it stop? That's all I'm saying. Fellas, anything else? Chats?
No chats, but
yes.
MLK's a legend. He's gonna go two-day sex orgy. This is another thing to add to him. Another reason I like him.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody would vote for Cuomo. I agree. I don't hold that against him, but you're missing the bigger point. They hold it against Trump for saying he used to grab women's pussies. And John Wayne didn't really care for fucking Indians and didn't care for gay people. So we have to take his name off the fucking airport. Okay, let's start tearing down statues. You guys get the point. Anyways, remember, go to Cameo.com, and if you want me to send a little video to a buddy or a friend or an enemy, ripping them or saying happy birthday, or we miss you, or sorry you get cancer of the ears, or happy bar mitzvah, or tell your neighbor to fucking quit looking over your fence like the nosy bitch that she is, I will do that for all of you. So go to Cameo.com, $60. That is it. That's another week in the books. Thank you, patrons, once again. And am I forgetting anything, Jace?
I believe that's it.
That's it. I'll see you at the Brook Art Center in Bound Brook, New Jersey, Saturday night. Thanks a lot, Twinks. Great job. I will talk to you guys on Monday. Take care of yourselves.